Most people spend their entire lives begging to be loved. They run after it, depend on it, and give their power away for it, without realizing that love can become the biggest trap of all. The world doesn't truly care about your feelings. And honestly, most people don't either. They smile, compliment you, and promise loyalty. But behind the mask, many are simply predators waiting for their chance. You think that being loved will make you safe, but it actually does the opposite. It makes you easy to read, easy to control, and emotionally exposed. Every time you hand someone your heart like a fragile object, you give them a weapon they can use against you. And eventually, they will. Machiavelli never treated love like a fairy tale. He understood human nature, selfish, changeable, and often cruel. People betray, manipulate, or abandon those they claim to care for when fear, greed, or new opportunities come their way. Love doesn't protect you. It traps you. And if you keep chasing it, you'll never experience real freedom. The hard truth is this: being loved is not power. It's weakness. The moment you stop chasing love, you stop letting others control you. And that's when you finally understand what true power feels like. From the day you're born, the world teaches you to crave affection from parents, friends, or romantic partners. You grow up believing that love is your shield and your safe place. But life isn't a fairy tale, and people aren't always kind. Machiavelli observed that those who depend on love are already enslaved. When you chase love, you give away control. You adjust your behavior to please others. You forgive betrayal, accept humiliation, and lower your own standards just to keep affection down. Every time you say, "I need you," you tighten the chain around your own freedom. Weakness isn't forgiven, it's exploited. The more you seek approval, the more power others have over you. Human affection is rarely pure, and this is true for everyone, men and women alike. Machiavelli warned that men are generally ungrateful, fickle, false, and deceiving. And as long as you prosper, they are faithful. But when misfortune strikes, they turn against you. Love and loyalty are often temporary. People may seem devoted today, but tomorrow, circumstances and desires can change everything. Chasing love blindly means putting your life in the hands of forces you can't control. Look at the powerful people in politics, business, or leadership. They don't depend on being loved. They command respect, authority, and sometimes fear. They understand that people act in their own interest. For them, love is not a comfort zone. It's a tool. They use it wisely, strategically, and only when it benefits their goals. When you depend on love for emotional safety, you hand others control over your mood, your confidence, and your identity. You reveal your weak points and make it easy for others to use them against you. People who constantly seek affection end up losing their independence and strength. They become predictable, easy to influence, and emotionally fragile. And in a world driven by ambition and self-interest, weakness is dangerous. Machiavelli said, "It is better to be feared than loved, if you cannot be both." This isn't about being cruel. It's about protecting yourself. Depending on affection makes you vulnerable. Respect, strategic distance, and emotional detachment make you untouchable. When your happiness and self-worth depend on someone else's warmth or approval, you put your power in their hands. If they withdraw it, you collapse. But this doesn't mean cutting off all human connection. Machiavelli's view isn't about living without relationships. It's about mastering them. Love, kindness, and loyalty can be useful, but they must never become your emotional oxygen. Give enough to build trust and alliances, but never so much that you lose yourself. You should not serve love. You should master it. The first step is detachment. Understand that love is not a prize. It's a test of your strength, independence, and judgment. People who lose themselves for affection fail that test. Those who stay clear-eyed and calm pass it. Detachment doesn't mean becoming cold or hateful. It means seeing people for who they are, not who you want them to be. It means holding your power, no matter what emotions others throw your way. The world punishes emotional dependence. Once you give someone else the power to define your value, you lose your freedom. You become like a puppet, dancing for their approval, blinded by warmth and fake smiles. Only by learning detachment and refusing to trade your independence for affection can you keep control. This isn't about rejecting love entirely. It's about mastering it. Being loved doesn't give you power. Chasing love traps you. The people who truly survive, as Machiavelli taught, are the ones who learn to detach. They put their self-worth above the emotions and opinions of others. They see human behavior clearly and move through life without being tied down. Remember this: those who bend for love will always become prey, but those who master detachment earn freedom. The choice is yours. Human nature often hides like a predator behind a kind face, and love is the bait. Most people see affection as a gift, as proof of loyalty, as a safe space. But that's a dangerous misunderstanding. Love is one of the most clever weapons ever created because it hides people's real intentions while exposing your soft spots. Every person who shows love carries two sides inside them. One that truly wants connection, and another that sees opportunity. Most people don't even realize which side is stronger until it's too late. Think about the relationships you've trusted, friends, partners, even family. All of them, in one way or another, have used your desire to be loved. The compliments, the soft words, the sweet promises, these aren't always random or generous. Often, they are small, calculated moves meant to shape how you behave. The goal is simple: make you obedient, easy to predict, and emotionally dependent. Once someone learns how much you want their love, they can control what you do. Even tiny gestures can carry power. The right compliment at the right time, a gentle touch, a moment of attention. These are like deposits into your emotional bank. Later, those deposits can be used to push you, influence you, or make you agree. It's a quiet, almost invisible system of control. Those who believe love is unconditional are often blind to this. Every show of affection has weight behind it. Every promise hides something, and naive people don't see it coming until they're trapped. Machiavelli warned that appearances hold power. Today, we're surrounded by fake signs of affection, messages, likes, little gestures that seem meaningful but often aren't. Care is cheap. Attention fades. Loyalty is rare. People who manipulate love don't need to hate you. They just need to stay indifferent while you depend on them. In this world, cold indifference can be more dangerous than open hate. Detachment is the cure. When you stop chasing love, you take away a manipulator's strongest weapon. You become hard to read, hard to control. The people who once had power over your emotions lose it, not because you argued with them, but because you simply stepped away. And nothing scares controllers more than someone who no longer plays their game. Humans fear what they can't predict or control. That's why strategy matters. Machiavelli advised rulers to show strength and hide their intentions. Do the same with love. Let affection be something people earn. Test loyalty. Make sure desire for you happens on your terms. Not every smile deserves your response. Not every compliment deserves a return. Treat your heart like a fortress. Only those who prove their worth should be allowed in. If you ignore this rule, you risk being used again and again. People who give out love too easily become easy targets. Their kindness becomes a chain. Every loving act becomes a credit in someone else's book, a credit that can be cashed in to manipulate, control, or abandon them when it suits. Love without detachment dies quickly. It turns into a responsibility you never agreed to carry. But detachment isn't about being cruel. It's about being clear. It's understanding that love works like a currency, and you're the one who decides its value. You can still connect, love, and care, but you'll do it from a position of strength, not weakness. You'll watch people's intentions carefully. You'll study their motives with logic, not blind emotion. And you'll only act when it benefits your peace or your purpose. This level of control changes how people see you. Those who once had easy access to your emotions now find themselves shut out. They scramble for your attention. They become nervous around your silence. Fear doesn't always shout. Sometimes it's just the quiet presence of someone powerful in this new way of living. Love starts to follow your strategy, not your neediness. Understand this clearly. Manipulators don't walk around with evil smiles or warnings. They work quietly. They use your need for love to predict what you'll do next. When you take yourself off their map, they lose control. They can't read you anymore. Their power disappears, not because you fought, but because you stopped obeying their unspoken rules. And yes, detachment can feel frightening. It goes against human instinct. Most people are addicted to affection and approval. They can't imagine thriving without it. But when you step outside this cycle, you move into a position that's both powerful and untouchable. You become someone who needs nothing from others, but who sees and understands everything. And if needed, you can neutralize any threat, calmly, strategically, and without losing your power. People are not loyal by nature. They are loyal only when it benefits them. Their affection, kindness, and support often depend on what they gain in return. Most people won't admit this. They'll promise loyalty and love that lasts forever. But Machiavelli saw through the mask. He knew that human nature is selfish, unstable, and dangerous. Trusting people blindly is like placing your life on a gamble you are likely to lose. Think about the people you trust the most, your friends, your partner, even your family. Watch them closely. How often do they act purely for your sake? How often is their love or loyalty steady no matter what happens? If you observe carefully, you'll see that love, friendship, and loyalty are fragile. They hold together only as long as it's convenient for them. When life becomes difficult, when fear shows up, or when a better chance appears, many people reveal who they truly are, individuals focused on their own benefit. The scariest part is how quietly this happens. Betrayal usually doesn't come with warning signs. It hides behind warm smiles, kind words, and gestures that seem caring. The same people you depend on can leave, lie, or use you the moment it suits them. They often feel no guilt because, in their mind, you were simply part of their comfort, not their priority. The world doesn't care about your pain, and neither do most people. Depending too much on others' love and attention makes you vulnerable. Every bond creates a point of leverage over you. Every expectation gives someone else power. Every time you chase love or approval, you show a weakness, and humans are naturally drawn to use weakness to their advantage. That's why survival demands emotional detachment. Detachment doesn't mean becoming cruel. It means becoming clear-eyed. Seeing how inconsistent people can be doesn't mean you have to reject them entirely. It means you understand the game they play. Watch how they behave. See who helps only when it's easy, who disappears when you're struggling, and who says, "I'm loyal," but acts differently. This awareness becomes your shield. Don't be fooled by charm or warmth. Kindness can be rehearsed. Loyalty can be staged. Even guilt can be faked. People are skilled at creating illusions. The frightening part isn't that they might betray you. It's that they will. If the situation benefits them, your heart is not a safe haven. It's a battleground. And those who are naive, the ones who trust too quickly, are the first to get hurt. It's a hard truth, but it's freeing. The less you rely on others for validation, love, or approval, the stronger you become. When you stop needing people's acceptance, you step outside their ability to control or manipulate you. This doesn't mean betrayal won't hurt. It will. But once you understand the selfish nature of people, the pain won't break you anymore. Their actions won't define your worth. They'll simply reveal who they are. Accepting this truth sets you free. Those who depend on affection will see your calm detachment as cold or heartless. But it's actually emotional mastery, not its control over your expectations, desires, and emotional reactions, the very things that keep most people trapped. People are selfish and unpredictable. Even those closest to you can disappoint, deceive, or betray you. There are no guarantees. Once you accept this, you take back your power. Deny it, and you remain a pawn in a world where everyone plays for themselves. Seeing reality clearly is unsettling at first. Everything feels uncertain. But at the same time, you become untouchable. While others are trapped by their emotional attachments, you stand outside the game, observing and understanding. Not every predator shows its teeth. Some come with laughter, soft words, and sincere, "I love you." The most dangerous ones use affection as their weapon. They move in silence, watch closely, and strike when you're most vulnerable. To protect yourself, you must learn to spot them before they act. The first sign is inconsistency. Trust actions, not words. Words are cheap and can be practiced. Actions show true intent. A manipulator will promise loyalty, but act selfishly when it matters. They will say they care, but disappear when you need them. Small betrayals and repeated patterns are their footprints. Ignore them, and you set yourself up for pain. They also use emotional bait, guilt, flattery, or sympathy to pull you into their control. At first, they push boundaries softly to see how far they can go. They exploit your desire for love because they know affection clouds judgment. Every sweet apology or kind gesture may hide a strategy. If you watch closely, their mask slips. These manipulators rarely force you directly. Instead, they guide your choices by controlling your emotional needs. They reward obedience with attention and affection. They quietly shape your behavior without you even noticing. The moment you recognize this pattern, you gain your power back. Pay attention to how people react when you pull away. A real friend respects your independence. A manipulator panics, flatters, or pressures you to come back. Their charm grows stronger, their compliments increase, and their fear-based tactics rise. This is their strategy, to use fear and attachment as tools. Recognize it, resist it, and use detachment as your defense. Your emotional boundaries are your fortress. Predators will keep testing them. Every time you give in, you weaken your defenses. Every time you hold firm, you strengthen them. Don't fall for guilt, praise, or promises. Strong boundaries make you less vulnerable. Detachment isn't numbness. It's awareness. These predators thrive on control. Their warmth and attention are strategic. To survive, you must step out of their game. Don't react predictably. Don't depend on their affection. Once you stop needing their approval, they lose their grip on you. Knowledge alone isn't enough. You have to act. Distance yourself from those who use love as a tool. Watch, but don't attach. Connect, but don't surrender. When you see relationships as choices, not emotional necessities, you become unreachable to emotional predators. You stop being prey and become a silent, strategic force in a world full of unaware people. Most will never reach this level. They will live their lives craving love, giving it too easily, and being used again and again. Only a few are brave enough to face the dark truth of human nature and embrace detachment. Those who do gain a rare kind of power, the power to navigate the human jungle without harm. Watch, understand, protect, and detach. These are the tools to survive in a world where affection is currency and relationships are battlegrounds. The naive pay the price in heartbreak and betrayal. The wise gain freedom and control. Once you see this clearly, the world cannot use love to trap you anymore. You act with clarity. You see through every mask. And you move through life on a higher level. Fear becomes your ally. Detachment becomes your shield. Understanding becomes your weapon. The highest power in relationships is not controlling others. It's mastering yourself. When you stop chasing love, you unlock a strength most people will never know. Detachment isn't emptiness. It's clear vision. You see people for who they are: selfish, opportunistic, and rarely unconditional. Lies become easy to detect. Manipulation becomes obvious. Every smile, word, and touch reveals its true intention. Knowledge arms you. Detachment protects you. Your heart becomes a fortress. When you fully understand this, love, loyalty, and friendship stop being traps. They become tools you can use wisely. You stop being predictable, weak, or easy to control. Look at the world like a strategist. Every relationship is like a chess move. Don't give away your power carelessly. Don't let emotions lead your strategy. Engage only when it benefits you. Step back when it doesn't. When you treat love as a choice, not a necessity, you rise above the chaos that controls most people. Detachment clears your vision. You start to see the truth behind every word and gesture. Most never do. They stay trapped. But you are free. You don't fear betrayal because you no longer depend on illusions. You don't beg for love because you understand its temporary, transactional nature. This shift is powerful. People around you can sense it. Those who once tried to manipulate you hesitate now. Your detachment shows strength, independence, and unpredictability, traits that quietly command respect and fear. This isn't arrogance. It's alertness. Life is full of people who pretend to care while serving themselves. Detachment gives you clarity to move smartly through that world. The stronger your detachment, the more invincible you become. Love, loyalty, and affection no longer control you. They become strategic tools, used when useful and withheld when necessary. You turn fear into clarity, chaos into control, and need into freedom. Those who chase love are easy to read. Those who need approval are easy to use. Those who give their hearts without limits are easy to break. But those who master detachment become unseen strategists, moving with calm, watching while others stumble. So remember this. Stop chasing love. Stop begging for validation. Stop giving your heart away too freely. The world is harsh. Human nature is selfish. Freedom belongs to those who accept this truth and rise above it. Power begins where illusion ends. The moment you stop expecting loyalty to be pure, love to be unconditional, and people to act against their own interests for your sake, that is the moment your vision clears. You no longer walk through life blindfolded by hope or emotional need. You walk with awareness. And awareness, more than anything else, is power. Detachment is not about rejecting love or isolating yourself from the world. It's about reclaiming control over the one thing that has always been yours, your mind. Most people spend their lives chained to the reactions and approval of others. A compliment lifts them. A rejection breaks them. A promise gives them false security, and betrayal destroys them. Their emotional world is ruled by external forces. But the one who masters detachment reverses this dynamic. You become the center. You decide when to give, when to step back, and when to let silence speak louder than emotion. When you understand human nature deeply, disappointment stops shaking you. Betrayal stops surprising you. Manipulation stops confusing you. You see every gesture for what it is, either genuine or strategic. And you choose your response not from weakness, but from clarity. This shift is subtle, but it changes everything. In a world built on appearances, detachment makes you unpredictable. While others are busy reacting, you are observing. While they are blinded by desire, you are guided by strategy. This doesn't make you heartless. It makes you sovereign, emotionally independent, mentally grounded, and impossible to control. People around you will feel the shift. Some will respect it. Some will fear it. Some will try harder to regain the emotional hold they once had over you. But none will truly be able to manipulate you once your sense of self no longer depends on their love, approval, or attention. Remember, loyalty, love, and affection are not guarantees. They are choices, sometimes temporary, sometimes strategic, sometimes sincere. When you stop expecting permanence from things that are naturally unstable, you free yourself from endless emotional traps. You stop chasing shadows and start navigating reality. Detachment is a form of quiet strength. You don't need to prove anything. You don't need to announce your independence. It speaks for itself through your actions, your calm, and your refusal to be swayed by superficial gestures. When people realize they can no longer control you through fear, guilt, or affection, they begin to adjust. Some will leave, others will evolve, and those who remain will respect the fortress you've built around your heart. This doesn't mean you will never love again. It means when you love, you will do it from a position of power, not dependency. You will observe intentions, weigh actions, and decide with clarity, not blind hope. Your relationships will become stronger, cleaner, and more honest because they are no longer built on illusions. The world is not kind to the naive. It rewards those who see clearly and act deliberately. Detachment gives you that edge. It allows you to move through life without being consumed by it. While others are trapped in cycles of emotional chaos, you will stand firm, calm, strategic, and untouchable. So as we close this chapter, remember this: your heart is not a tool for others to shape. It is a fortress you control. Your emotions are not weaknesses to be exploited. They are signals you command. Your need for love is not a chain. It is a choice. The path of mastery is not for everyone. Most will prefer illusions because they're easier to believe. But if you choose awareness over comfort, clarity over fantasy, and strength over need, then you are already walking the path few ever dare to take. Detach, observe, decide, and rule your emotional world with the precision of a strategist. That is where true power lives.